Next on WRAL News, surging COVID cases in North Carolina as the state sees a record-breaking day and the growing concerns about these numbers ahead. And NC State puts basketball on hold due to positive COVID-19 tests. Plus,
Orange County is the only one in the Triangle that has managed to keep the best designation from the state as far as COVID community spread. Coming up, I'm talking with local leaders and people who live here about their secret to success.
The Triangle's #1 source for news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Now at 4, records broken yet again. We're saying this every day because it's happening every day. And when we talk about hospitalizations, lives hang in the balance. Today we had 6,495 cases reported, the highest we have ever seen in one day. Hospitalizations hit a record with 2,440 people in the hospital. And our percentage of people testing positive right now hangs at 11.7%. That is very high, the highest since the end of April. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lena Tillett.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. Gerald is off today. Also, the Department of Defense released its vaccine distribution plan today, and Fort Bragg is on the list of initial sites to get the vaccine. Canadian health officials have approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, and we could get approval of the vaccine right here in the U.S. from the FDA tomorrow or Friday.
With COVID cases on the rise, local school districts are headed back to all virtual instruction. Granville, Johnston, and Hope counties will move back to Plan C and stay in remote learning until at least the beginning of January. Many other districts could have to make similar decisions in the coming weeks. WRAL's Joe Fisher joins us live in Raleigh, asking Wake County school leaders about any plans to change course there. Joe?
Lena, right now we are standing outside of Stow Elementary in Raleigh, where so far one staff member and one student have tested positive for COVID-19. There's a lot of schools here in Wake County that have been impacted by the pandemic. One thing all of the schools you mentioned have in common in terms of Hope County, Johnston County, and Granville County is if you look at this map, they all fall in this red category, which means they have critical viral spread. In fact, in Hope County, the percent of people testing positive is now over 12%. If we go up here to Wake County, you can see we're still in the orange with the percent of tests coming back positive at 6%. And tonight, Wake County school leaders say so far they have no plans to change course.
Wake County Schools reports 219 COVID cases in the 6 weeks since in-person learning resumed. There's been 2 possible cases of secondary transmission, but board chairman Keith Sutton says by and large, the virus does not appear to be spreading within school buildings.
I think we are, satisfied that our procedures and protocols are working and in place.
State health officials say Wake County is experiencing substantial community spread, moving from yellow to orange on Tuesday. Johnston County moved into red, critical spread on Tuesday, and hours later, the school board voted to close schools through at least January 15th.
We are watching and we're obviously to see what other districts are doing, and it does cause you to sort of rethink or think about your plans and what we're doing, again, as our neighbors make those decisions.
Wake schools recently voted to bring high school students back to the classroom for the first time in the spring. With cases rising and the holidays approaching, high school parents have reservations.
I think it'd be nice for him to get back to school, but, what is he going to bring home to us,
And back out here live, this is the Wake County Public Schools COVID dashboard. You can see they started recording cases back in late October, and every week after, the cases there have gone up. Last week, the district reporting 68 new cases. Again, so far, they have more than 200 cases. We are learning new today, several new cases at Heritage Elementary in Wake Forest. Parents there have been alerted to 4 new cases just in the past 24 hours. Lena.
All right, Joe Fisher reporting live in Raleigh. Thanks, Joe.
Well, it's been a trying week for the NC State men's basketball team. Games have been postponed or canceled, and now today's news, the Wolfpack is pausing basketball activities. WRAL's Chris Lee joins us now with why that is. Chris?
Yeah, Deborah, earlier today, NC State announced that 2 members of their travel party tested positive for COVID-19 recently. That's no one who are coaches or players. And because of contact tracing measures, they have decided to pause basketball activities for now. Because of this, NC State's home game that's scheduled for Saturday against Florida Atlantic will not be played, and their games in the near future may have to be rescheduled. The team is supposed to take on Louisville and Campbell within the next 10 days, but no determination of whether those games will be played or not has been made as of this moment. Just last night, Duke's Mike Krzyzewski spoke about being very apprehensive of even playing basketball games while COVID-19 is spiking as much as it is.
People saying that the next 6 weeks are going to be the worst. To me, it's already pretty bad. Should we not reassess that? And see what would be best. What would be best. And look, I'm going to do whatever they say. We're going to make the most out of everything we say, everything that's done, that's said.
And once again, that was Coach K after Duke's loss last night to Illinois. Today, the pause came from NC State basketball, coming from members of their travel party. And we're hearing that it's not from coaches and not from players. Coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock, WRAL Sports' Casey Hentz will let you hear from a parent of an NC State basketball player who's concerned about how playing during a time like this will impact his son.
Understandable. Chris, thank you.
British health officials have issued a new alert about the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine. They're warning people with a history of severe allergic reactions not to get the shot while they investigate 2 cases of adverse reactions. The UK is expanding vaccinations as the US prepares to approve the Pfizer vaccine as early as tomorrow. NBC's Keir Simmons reports from London.
They are voices from a momentous day of vaccinations. People making history, health workers and the elderly.
If I can do it, well, so can you.
Martin Henson works at a hospital.
No problems at all. It doesn't hurt.
Amazing that something so important is so simple.
It is, isn't it? Got to get it done.
Varadarajan Kaladasan, a surgeon, knows all too well what's at stake.
One of my good friends from medical school and his wife were both ill, and unfortunately his wife passed away. Another friend was in intensive care for about 8 weeks.
Barbara and Arthur Simper, in their 80s, have had a tough year.
Isolating, so, grandchildren, missing out on them, missing out on hugs.
While Mary Taylor and Sarah Richardson are nurses who care for the elderly.
This is not a life that we're living. We need to get everyone on board. It's been absolutely heartbreaking. Losing one person is terrible. Losing more than one, it's soul destroying.
And for Michael Tipps, it was a day of hope.
Wonderful. No, I'm very lucky, really. I hope that everybody will fall in and have it, because it's really no problem at all.
Hope and some hurdles with news that the UK regulator is now saying that people with a history of serious allergic reactions should not take this vaccine. That's after 2 UK health workers reacted to a vaccination yesterday. Both are fine. You can bet the US regulator is looking at the evidence there. Keir Simmons, NBC News, London.
And WRAL will have live coverage of the race for the vaccine throughout the day tomorrow as the FDA meets to consider Pfizer's emergency use authorization. Dr. Mandy Cohen is also holding a briefing at 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow about vaccine distribution in North Carolina. We will certainly carry that live. We are addressing your questions and concerns about the vaccine in a special half-hour Thursday night with a live panel of experts offering insight into the FDA's meeting, what's next for distribution, and what you need to know before rolling up your sleeve. Please join us for this special edition of our 7 o'clock news as we cover the race for a vaccine tomorrow night on WRAL News at 7.
Facebook is under fire. Good afternoon. I'm Mark Boyle in the Live Center following several details here this afternoon. The key points in this lawsuit that was filed from the Federal Trade Commission and 48 states attorneys general. These lawsuits target Facebook. These acquisitions, you'll be familiar with these, of course, Instagram and WhatsApp. I spoke with the North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein. Here's what he had to say during a briefing and the reason he's going after the Facebook as well.
Facebook has maintained its monopoly power through a series of illegal conduct. It's used what we call a buy or bury strategy with potential competitors. I want Facebook to thrive and succeed, but I want it to succeed because it is the best company and not because it's a monopoly engaged in illegal behavior.
These acquisitions happened years ago. Facebook coming out this afternoon and saying they're going to fight this all the way to the end. They say this is just a message to other businesses, big and small, that no sale is ever final. Back to you.
All right, Mark, thank you. Well, the state is keeping track of the rate of COVID-19 spread in every county, giving each one a color, yellow, orange, or red. Right now, the only county in the Triangle with that best yellow designation from the state, which is still significant spread, is Orange County. That's where Chapel Hill is. WRAL's Sarah Kruger is live in Hillsborough now after talking with local leaders and residents about what's going better there. Sarah?
Deborah, I have been talking with a lot of people here to get their perspective on this, and one common theme emerged. Everyone is really praising businesses like restaurants for setting the tone that they are taking the virus seriously. Here at Los Altos restaurant, they say they will turn customers away if they are not wearing a mask, and there are signs all over the place reminding patrons of best practices.
Watching people go by in Hillsborough, you scarcely see anyone not wearing a mask.
When we run at the track at Speedway, everybody's also just wearing masks, so you can just see that even during workouts that people are still, wearing their mask when they're outside.
I think the businesses are very careful about how they enforce their social distancing, and people are spread out a lot more than, most average places.
Everyone I spoke to praised the restaurants for doing their part, like setting up ample outdoor dining. Los Altos in downtown Hillsborough even says with rising cases statewide, they may voluntarily make a change.
I've talked to the owner about it. She's told me that she wants to go back to takeout only, just for the safety of everyone.
I think we're just having a really good compliance with the 3 W's, the waiting, the washing your hands, and the wearing of masks in particular.
Orange County Community Relations Director Todd McGee credits the people of Orange County for taking the virus seriously. He points out the county is doing a lot of testing. This new site at Mount Moriah Baptist Church in Mebane just opened today.
And I also talked today to the mayor of Chapel Hill, and one thing she mentioned is that all of the leaders here in Orange County have been really collaborative and on the same page, working together and with UNC leaders, and she said that has been very helpful. Deborah.
Collaboration is always key. All right, Sarah, thank you. Well, check your Mega Millions lottery ticket. Someone in North Carolina won $1 million and has not claimed it yet. That story coming up. Plus,
long lines at the post office are a holiday tradition, but this year with the pandemic, it's a little riskier than ever. Find out what the post office is doing to keep you safe coming up.
some researchers say North Carolina hospitals could hit max capacity in 6 weeks if the trends continue. Local hospitals are planning for that possibility tonight at 5. Kat?
A December warm-up is on the way, but that could come with a little rain. I'll show you which day is best for outdoor plans this weekend coming up.
President-elect Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is now under federal investigation. That statement and confirmation coming into the newsroom within the past 5 minutes. Here's the statement from Hunter Biden on your screen, part of it for you to read as well. This is all about his tax affairs, according to Mr. Biden. It reads in part, I learned yesterday for the first time that the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware advised my legal counsel also yesterday that they are investigating my tax affairs. It goes on to say that it will demonstrate that I handled my affairs legally and appropriately, including with the benefit of professional tax advisors. Mr. Biden, Hunter Biden, saying that he did things by the books, according to this statement. We will see how this shakes out over the next few months. Back to you.
Check your Mega Millions lottery tickets if you live or work in Iredell County. Someone picked up a ticket worth $1 million at Fast Fills on Brawley School Road in Mooresville. We're told the $2 ticket matched the numbers on all 5 white balls. Here they are on your screen. The Mega Millions numbers 15, 19, 33, 39, 68. The Mega Ball was 25. The Mega Plier 3. Friday's jackpot is $276 million, and you can watch the drawing live right here on WRAL.
Check your pockets. Long lines at the post office are an annual holiday tradition, and this year with COVID, those crowds are risky. WRAL's Laura Leslie is in Garner, where the post office has been busy much of the day. Laura?
Deb, you know, health experts are telling us during this pandemic not to hang around with a bunch of strangers in crowded indoor spaces for long periods of time, right? Well, that's pretty much the description of the post office at holiday season and any year. Even this year, you know, there's a sign on the door that says no more than 10 people in the lobby, but that's not stopping people from packing in. And it doesn't appear that officials have a plan to manage the risk. Even on a weekday morning, the post office in Garner is a beehive of activity.
I thought I was coming at an off time, but apparently there isn't an off time.
Steve Ballmer needed to mail presents to his wife's family. The sign on the door says capacity is limited to 10 people, but we counted at least 25 customers in line. Ballmer knows even with masks, that's still a higher risk for coronavirus. But what else can you do?
I mean, anytime I see a bunch of people in a place, you know, I'm concerned now. But I wasn't afraid. I wasn't deterred by that enough to leave or come back at another time or whatever.
Kanisha Brown has to come here all the time for work.
Every day. This line is every day. Yes.
You know there's not supposed to be more than 10 people in here?
I definitely understand that, but I don't know what else they could do at this point. I have the line wait outside, but at the end of the day, we're still about the same.
Between congressional budget cuts and a recent ban on most overtime, most post offices just don't have workers available to monitor crowding. When I asked the Postal Service about the problem, spokesman Philip Bogenberger said they expect people to follow local rules. But, he added, we will put up additional signage reminding customers to not exceed capacity inside the post office. Wes Roscoe says a better solution would be to add more workers and more hours throughout the rest of the holiday season.
They open too late. They open at 10 o'clock. But on Saturday, they're open at 9 for the holidays. So open at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning until after Christmas. Fair enough?
This is expected to be the busiest season in the U.S. Post Office's history, due in part to the pandemic. So if you need to mail something in person, you're going to want to plan that a little further in advance than usual this year, because the lines are only going to get longer the later you wait. Back to you, Deb.
Yeah, good advice. Laura Leslie, live in Garner. Thanks, Laura.
As you are aware, Governor Roy Cooper issued a curfew for 10 p.m. in response to growing COVID cases. So the Knights of Lights team is making a few changes to ensure we're all following that order. If you bought a ticket for 9:30 p.m. or later, you'll receive an email with refund information tomorrow. If you had a ticket for an earlier window, you will not be affected. We are working to add an additional date and more times. For more information, visit WRAL.com/lights. Let's get to meteorologist Kat Campbell. A chilly day, but again, just so beautiful with all this sunshine. Look at downtown Raleigh.
It's a gorgeous day, and it's not as cold as it was yesterday. The wind, not too bad today. Beautiful in Clayton. The Christmas decorations are up in downtown Clayton. We are looking forward to a weekend warm-up, though. We're back in the 60s starting on Friday. Friday, the best day to be outside. 62, no rain Friday. By Saturday, just a 20% chance of rain. So if you want to do something outdoors this weekend, shoot for Saturday. Saturday still warm at 65. Sunday is when we have the better chance of rain, but our temperatures still in the mid-60s on Sunday. So here's the big picture over the U.S. that we are watching this week. We do have a system in the northeast that's bringing some snowfall to parts of the northeast. Things are quiet here in the southeast. And the next system that we are watching is this one off to our west. It still hasn't really come together just yet, but it is going to in the coming days. And this is what we know with this system right now. Saturday, the best day for outdoor plans. The first part of this system is likely to arrive on Sunday. Some scattered showers possible on Sunday, and we could potentially see another system develop along the same front for Monday. A lot of uncertainty with Monday's forecast, so keep checking back in for updates. Here's Saturday. Throughout the day, you can see we have some more clouds in the area, but things are quiet here in central North Carolina on Saturday. That's why I say go ahead and get in the outdoor plan Saturday. Sunday, models have been trending toward an earlier arrival of the rain, so we could wake up to some rain on Sunday morning for the first half of the day. And then that same front just kind of sits off the coast, and we see another area of low pressure develop in the southeast along the same front. And this is the system that could bring us some additional rain, even some mountain snow on Monday. We will be watching this, but it's not set in stone. The American model never develops another wave of low pressure, and that would keep us totally dry on Monday. So a lot of uncertainty. Check back in for updates. We just want to let you know it's something that we're watching, but Sunday coming together, so have an umbrella. Evening exercise today, nice and dry. 46 at 5, by 7 down to 42. Tomorrow morning, heading out the door, temperatures are in the 30s instead of the 20s, so it's cool. Jacket weather, but not quite as cold. Grab the sunglasses as well tomorrow. High temperatures are back in the upper 50s to even lower 60s tomorrow afternoon, so it should end up being a really nice day tomorrow. And it's the first night of Hanukkah tomorrow night. 37 is our forecast low tomorrow night, so those numbers are going up in terms of both our morning lows and our afternoon highs. The weekend in the 60s all weekend long. The best chance for rain Sunday at 40%. For now, we have a 40% chance of rain in on Monday. It's likely to be cooler rain, so check back in for updates. But the night of lights starts next Wednesday, looking pretty good. It's definitely going to feel festive with a high of 52, and there's a lot of things to look out for in the sky tonight. I'll have more on that coming up in the next half hour.
Oh, a lot of kids are excited. First night of Hanukkah is tomorrow. Thanks so much, Kat.
The woman who filmed George Floyd's deadly encounter with police is being honored. How a nonprofit is acknowledging her bravery and the movement she helped to spark across the country.
How many Americans have said they'll take the coronavirus vaccine? We'll check a claim from Joe Biden coming up.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Forbes magazine has named 2020's most powerful women, and Angela Merkel has topped the list yet again. No surprise, probably. This is the German chancellor's 10th consecutive year in the first spot. She was widely praised for how she handled the coronavirus in Germany. Number 2 on that list is European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde. She had to set monetary policy for 19 nations during the pandemic. And rounding out the top 3 is Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, the first woman, first Black and first Asian American elected to the office. Unfortunately, Deborah, our names were not on the list.
We
didn't make the cut.
Down just a little bit, maybe?
Maybe way down.
Keep turning the pages to finally see. Maybe. I doubt it. I don't know. Pretty impressive women there.
Yes.
Well, hundreds of millions of people have seen the video of George Floyd's final moments, and now the person behind the camera is being rewarded for her bravery. Darnella Frazier is the person who took the video of Officer Derek Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck. The 17-year-old is now being honored by the nonprofit PEN America, which advocates for human rights. Frazier was celebrated for bravely continuing to film the officer in the tense scene, which lasted for nearly 10 minutes. And we're not showing it here, but it is certainly something that will be etched into people's memories.
Absolutely, and etched into history as well.
Well, some hospitals in North Carolina are gearing up in preparation to receive a vaccine. We show you 2 that received their freezers today for storing the vaccine. That story ahead at 4:30.
Many dorm restaurants are once again hanging on by a thread. Ahead, the plan of action they plan to take to hopefully turn things around.